welcome to another video, A Walk with Phil. And today I'm in Warsaw, and the reason I'm here in Warsaw because I just want to make a quick video actually of a rather famous street named after the Earls of Bradford, whose family name was Bridgeman, and so I'm going to go along Bridgeman Street. Now Bridgeman Street was the site of lot of industry that was built up largely around the 1850s. A lot of workers' cottages and factories were all springing up around this particular area of Bridgeman Street, making it one of the most industrialised areas in the town of Warsaw. And there was one or two very iconic factories along there. So I'm going to do a quick video to have a look what Bridgeman Street looks like today, and I'll end up in the Sadler Centre to have a look at the new refurbished, if you like, Jerome K. Jerome clock. So let's go and have a look and see what we can see along Bridgeman Street. Oh, we're here at a very busy junction. Look, this is the Pleck Road, and that road to the right will take you towards the motorway, the M6, and the town centre Crown Wharf shopping development, or retail development. I did a video of that area not so long back. But what I want to do in this video is just to take you down Bridgeman Street, which is along here. And it was the street of many industries along here, and one of which would have been just over there where all these residential properties are now based. That used to be an ironworks or an iron foundry of sorts over there, but you'll find that a fair few of these very large industries down here have all gone and been replaced with flats. That seems to be the done thing now. But what we do have here is this towering chimney, look, and on the side it says Major Facts. Now I've no idea what that company does or did, but they're based in Charles Street. We'll have a closer look at that in a bit. And a large factory here as well. It's still being used as something. I can see wooden posts and concrete posts, but this is now called Cavell Close and leads to Waterfront Way, which is obviously a fairly new road when all these apartments were built. This street had companies such as James Cottrell's, Martin and Son. I think Martin and Son are still here down this street on the left somewhere, which hopefully we'll come across. Eldonian Brooks, the Boak or Boak, I don't know how you pronounce that, was otherwise known as Ravens Craig Works. There was the Russell's Iron Works, the Crescent Chain and Anchor Works, Walsall Tube Works, and the Walsall Rubber Company, amongst many factories and industries around here. It was at least 30 or so factories dotted along here and around here. There could be more than that. But we're just coming across the Warsaw Canal. And the Warsaw Canal was cut in the 1790s. It's got a path alongside it which you can use to get to some of those odd looking apartments that you can see behind this huge chimney stack. But you can see that the Warsaw Canal was flanked by factories to the right and to the left here. Ironworks and tube works would flank its sides. It's all very nicely landscaped now. But that canal would be delivering coal and limestone, iron ore. We got another business here, which is the Warsaw Battery Services. And again, a lot of old factories have been converted into factory units, and a lot of them cater for the motor industry, MOTs and servicing, repairs. And this one is, they are auto electrical specialists. And over here we've got Charles Street. Now Charles Street is where this very tall chimney stack is. Charles Street now, of course, is devoid of what it once was, because look at that in front of us. Oh, how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7-storey apartment blocks now. There was all wharfs and depots and warehouses and all that kind of thing, and factories dotted all along the side of the canal ahead of me, but well, where the canal is, just beyond all these apartments. But this is now called primary flow points, making flow meters. I wonder if that chimney stack is still used for anything. As we continue down Bridgman Street, you can see here's Tool Station. Now, surprisingly, as you walk along here, there were a fair few houses that were dotted around and along Bridgman Street, especially where we've just seen Charles Street. Frederick Street was just at the top of Charles Street, and that would have a lot of housing around there. It's amazing how all these terraced houses would interact with all these huge factories that were all dotted around them, you know. It's hard to believe that used to be a thing. Again, we've got some more to do with cars. Look, tyres. See a lot of these places, tyres. Tyre fitting. And we've got a sandwich. The sandwich company here. This is Henry Street, just over at road, but I don't think Henry Street there's much up there these days. Again, it looks like auto repairs. And we used to have a cafe here, but it's now English and Punjabi cuisine. It's shuttered, so don't suppose that opens anymore. And there's another branch of Fix Auto over at road here as well. I believe there used to be just houses dotted along here as well. Where Elegance Carpets is, here on the corner. I think that's Augusta Road ahead on the left. Used to be a pub here called the Coachmaker's Arms. The Coachmaker's Arms had stood here since 1871. Not sure when it I knew it closed in 1936 and it was rebuilt, but I'm not sure when it finally met its demise. Ahead of me we've got Queen Street, and just here on the corner of Queen Street was another pub called the Crown and Cushion, just behind these advertising hoardings here. Yeah, it was a pub just here on the corner, I believe, the Crown and Cushion. Again, it had been here since around 1858. Again, I don't really know when it was closed. Was it in the 70s? And just here, where they got Elite Alloy Wheel Refurbishment Specialist, again related to the car trade. Used to be a church, and it was the Bethel Temple was its official name for the church, with a Sunday school at the rear. Just taking a short walk along Queen Street, because I just want to show you something here. This is a company called Cardboard Boxes and Co. But just around here there used to be some wasteland, and there was houses along here behind the Crown and Cushion, which was on the corner. For those of you who might remember, a very infamous child serial killer by the name of Raymond Morris, related to the Cannock Chase murders. It was this spot just around here which led to his capture, because a young girl was playing on this wasteland here, and the Raymond Morris in his car pulled up along here, and he tried to entice the girl into his car. Whilst the girl was here by the car, a woman noticed what was going on, and she came over and intervened and took the number plate of the car just here of Raymond Morris, and as he sped away, obviously the lady who took the number plate reported him to the police, and obviously the number plate, the car registration led to his capture. And as many of you might know of the case, he lived in Warsaw and he lived opposite the Green Lane police station in a block of flats right opposite. But this was just here where this particular area here led to his capture. There's Augusta Street just up there, and of course, and again, look at the top there, another chimney stack in front of some apartments. There'd be a few terrace properties along here as well. And this place, we all know that Warsaw is synonymous with saddle making, and there is a saddlery here actually, and we'll have a look at it in a sec. There's Denham's, the electrical supply shop over there. It's not heavy industry by any means along here now, but we've still got a lot of factory units and businesses that are commercial and industrial. There's Ariana, they made kitchens and bathrooms. And again we see another business related to the car industry. Look, Easy Auto, MOT and Service Centre. They're right paying to actually park on there, isn't it, to get your car MOT'd and such like. We've got double yellows outside. And this business here, Albion Saddle Makers, and they established 1985. And you think of the leather trade as being, a lot of the factories being very old, but this one's a fairly new affair, 1985. There's a strange building over there, Direct Specs, but it's all shuttered. Yeah, there's F. Martin and Sons, Chains and Hooks, been there many, many years. One of the great survivors, I would say. And it's now known as the Town Wharf Business Park over there. This is Long Street. Ahead of me was the pub called the Anchor. The building's still standing, as you can see. It's something to do with fostering now. Ideal Fostering it's called now. The Anchor has been there since 1850. Again, I'm not sure when it actually closed as a pub. And just ahead where we got parking at £2.50 once stood a very famous, iconic landmark, and that was the Boak building. It was a leather factory where they used to do dyeing of leathers and such like. It was a grade 2 listed building, was the Boak building. But as you can see, it doesn't stand there anymore. It was also known as the Ravenscraig Works, and it was destroyed by fire in 2012. Yeah, we're thinking arson again. I'm not sure if it was arson actually. It's amazing a lot of these grade 2 listed buildings get damaged by fire. I can name a fair few. Beyond the Ravenscraig Works would be a laundry and several other factories beyond there. And there's still buildings up there that I'm not sure if they're still operating as industries. Well, that's Navigation Street up there. And now we've got the bridge that crosses Bridgeman Street. And that bridge always gets flooded under there, just underneath the railway bridge. And you can see, you know, there's a few there's a few puddles under there as they slowly proceed underneath the bridge. But I've known it's a heck of a lot worse. Yeah, you can see lots of buildings there on the left. Up there, what they are now, I wouldn't know, but maybe they're factory units, or even have they been turned into flats even. But to my right and to the left here now would be all railway sidings, and I'll show you where the sidings were in a bit as we go under the railway. Water's dripping from the railway above me. Yeah, it's not too bad this morning, although we've had lots of rain over the last few days. And there we got TJ Hughes, it says. But it's not TJ Hughes anymore in the Sadler Centre. It used to be. And it says the Sadler Centre service yard, but that was the site of a goods shed just here to my left here where this road is. And lots of railway sidings would come off, would spur off the main railway line here and cross here into where this large building of the Sadler Centre stands, and the multi-storey car park. We'll have a look here to my right as well. This is called the Jerome Retail Park now, and I think, didn't it used to be home base on here at one time? But now it's a clearance bargain store and a home bargains on here now. And it gets really, really busy because people often come to clearance bargains hoping to get a bargain, because I think there's some, is it Argos returns or something like that, that end up here at the clearance bargain store. There's Buzz Bingo as well down the bottom. This is where a few of the buses terminate here at Bradford Place, and that's the very large, grandiose looking building of a former arts college. Not sure what they're going to do with that. You can imagine it being flats one day, but I don't think anything's been done with it since it closed as a college. There's the entrance to the Sadler's car park, which, as I said, was goods sheds. As I was about to say also, that all this car park here, it's a very busy car park, where we've got the clearance bargain store here on the left. All this was all railway lines, all railway sidings and goods sheds here. And I just want to, before I go into the Sadler Centre, I just want to show you this building here. It's called Memoirs. That backed onto what I think used to be home base. It's called Memoirs, and it also got the words alibi as well. It's a kind of a nightclub of some sort. I'm not sure if it still is, but I do remember it being known as the, now you have to say this very carefully, the City Slicker. I think one or two of you remember it known as that, the City Slicker. It opened in 1985. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to take us into the Sadler Centre, which I did a video of Sadler Centre not so long ago. And when they was doing the refurbishment, it was also announced that they would be returning the clock, the Jerome K. Jerome clock, that had been removed some years ago because it was unreliable, faulty. It needed some major repair work on it, and it's recently been reinstalled in the Sadler Centre. So we're going to have a look at that and see what it looks like today. There is the clock, the Jerome K. Jerome clock. That was reinstalled a few weeks back, and it wasn't the original spot. It used to be behind me, just here, above me here, but now you can see it's now been reinstalled. I've missed midday, so I can't hear it chime, but it's a rather strange looking depiction, really, with that guy bending over in the boat. I'm sure it's all very innocent. But yeah, there's the clock. Do you know, I wonder what it used to look like, Bridgman Street. The amount of people that must have been employed along there. There must have been thousands of people employed down this one small street. And it wasn't just the street, obviously. There's a lots of side roads off that one, like Charles Street, Augusta Street, Long Street, Queen Street. All these streets would have would have factories around there, as you saw. So it was been an amazing site back in the day, but sadly all we got now is a few automotive factory units servicing the car industry, as you tend to find a lot of these days, and of course the obligatory blocks of apartments which are dotted around. Sadly we didn't really get to see much of the clock. There's a lot of music playing in there, of course, but now it appears back in its rightful place in the Sadler Centre. And so anyway, we'll leave it at that. And if you like the video, hit the like button and also hit subscribe and hit the notification bell for new videos, and I'll see you on the next one.